This is what you call the Slauson Den. This is the only Slauson Den that Slausons have. This is Lafayette's den. Among these pictures are different pictures of those who are gone but not forgotten. Their sisters and brothers, Slausons, different events that we participated in coming up to the recent day and stuff. And what I always believe is a picture's worth 1,000 words. So if you're going to continue to have history, such as, you know, they did in Egypt, you have to have some kind of emblem, some kind of face or figures, something to distinguish the time and the space. Each one of these pictures that I have in the Slauson Den has a story to it, a time to it. And as I took most of the pictures, I know the time and the story. And this is how you keep your generation or knowledge from mouth to ear going as centuries go by. Now, we participated in activity in 1952. From 1952 to today, it's over 60-something years, 65 to be exact, years. Tell me somebody else in the country of the United States that is not established and they're black and they come out of the ghettos that have a proof or a diagnosis of what participated in their neighborhoods among their people, such as I do.
You got documents from newspapers?
I got documents from newspapers, the Sentinel. I got documents from the Sentinel as far as activity dating way back to the late 50s. I got pictures from the Sentinel. You know, I got documents of me when they said I did drive-by shootings and stuff. I was the first one that ever was categorized as a drive-by shooter. But I never shot anyone as being a drive-by shooter, you know.
And you have poems?
Yeah, poems.
Who are some of the guys that wrote you poems?
Well, you have, you know, Don't Try to Run and Don't Try to Fight, for we're from the Slausons and we roam by night. We took over Watts and Compton too. Now we're headed west to take over you. You know, I did all of that as a disc jockey on KTYM 103 back in 1962 and stuff. And LAPD gang activity took me off the air. They took me off the air for that. Yeah.
Okay, you have coat jackets and t-shirts.
Yeah, we have jackets and t-shirts. Each year we participate in a dance, Slauson Village, a dance and a picnic. And we have shirts every year that the Slauson Village Society. Bunchy was the first one that brought notice to a society to keep, as a Panther, to keep it up. Me, Bird, and George Norris, Little Abner, we began to, in 1972, keep this going as a tradition and as a remembrance of those who are gone but not forgotten, brother and sisters. So this is why basically we keep this up. As jackets we have, you know, now we are all from 71, 68 to 82 years old. Now where else in America you'll find blacks from a neighborhood that has this kind of camaraderie, you know, and still together and have shirts and t-shirts and jackets that still being, you know, worn to this day.
Are guys from other neighborhoods in your area invited to these?
Yeah, everybody's invited. You know, we've had councilmen to our picnics. You know, we have movie stars, we have athletes that have come to our picnics. Yeah, everybody. Because what we do is promote how a unit can still stay alive with a positive outlook and a positive program. You know, we talk about nothing constructive. You don't find Slausons that's glorifying gang activity. We call it as an experience. An experience that bring about a positive future. And that's what we try to promote to our grandkids, and some of us have great-grandchildren. We try to promote that. We don't promote this as glorifying gang activity. We don't even like to call it gang activity. We call it tribalism.
A lot of people look to you guys, though, Slausons in particular, sometimes the businessmen, as almost like fathers of the city. You know, it's never nothing bad said about you guys. It's always said in good light.
Well, they have files in LAPD who have a lot to say bad about us. You know, but as far as the population is concerned, we never disrespected adults. We never had drive-bys that killed children that would sleep in their bedrooms, that killed innocent kids. This is what hurts us. This is what hurts me. As promoting and taking part in the first drive-bys, I never shot nobody in a drive-by. It was an implementation of fear that I was implementing. Now you have youth that have weapons that they don't even know how to use, that are killing people. Babies. Shooting through, I mean, to me, it's a sign of cowardness. I'm going to drive by and shoot somebody, and you have a child in the car, and I'm going to kill them in order to get to you. We didn't do that. That wasn't the anticipation that I had anticipation of implementing fear in order to have some type of camaraderie with other neighborhoods, but not to kill,
So that's what I was trying to say earlier. So when the Crips and Bloods formed, they actually didn't go along with the ideology of the...
No, they formed their own. They formed their own. And from their generation to another generation to another generation, they kept the same structure. Self-destruction. There's nothing positive. You have those who have broken off from that, and promoted this. I've spoken to a lot of Crips that's 50, that's 55, some that I schooled in the institutions that now, try to speak to the youth, and try to explain to them that this is self-destructive, that it has no sense, it's insanity, it's what the administration wants you to do. But they're so involved in that, all over America, they're involved in that,
All over the world.
Self-destruction. Yeah, self-destruction.
What do we have over here?
Okay, you have a variety of pictures of Slausons and Bunchy. Bunchy basically was a renegade leader. Later on, served time in state of California prison system for armed robbery. And as he came out, he was a black liberation advocate and became Los Angeles head of the Black Panther Party. This is 1967 when I was doing time for bank robbery. And that's where that picture was taken. At that particular day, I had robbed a bank in 1965, and after about 4 more banks, I was arrested and sent to federal prison for bank robbery and did 5 years.
Tell me about Ray Ray.
Well, Ray Ray is a youngster that I met during an incarceration period out of Pasadena. We became very close, and now he's doing time in federal prison with the racketeering, which now, because of the fact that Trump has become president, it's more than likely not possible, more probable but not possible, that he might be able to get parole. Browning was his last name. Everybody knew him by Ray Ray. Okay, when I was incarcerated in Marion Federal Penitentiary, Bunchy and Wolf used to write me. This is the article here indicating how they used to write me and tell me about how the gang activity was coming about and how it was being stipulated by the establishment and how they was promoting gang activity without even the youth knowing what was being promoted or implemented upon them. And because of what Bunchy and Wolf had wrote and told me, I began to promote the first Slauson organized Slauson reunion. That took place at my apartment in Hollywood in 1972, where revolutionary activity was being promoted, and we had banners of Black Panther Party members and Bunchy, and we established an understanding where we was going to go out in the youth and try to promote them to be constructive and not self-destructive. In 1975, I was in Tehachapi, and you had a lot of BGF members that would, at that particular time, they'd come down from posts in San Quentin that was in Tehachapi in 1976 and 77. Well, at that particular time, I was Black Mafia, but Black Mafia was like a brothership with the BGF. And these are pictures here of, I was the first black inmate council starter in Tehachapi back in 1976, where you had an organization of Hispanics and Mexicans and whites that tried to keep the violence and keep an understanding with the establishment of the prison system. And these are pictures that were taken back there in 1976. Covered a lot that's really basics. No one has ever got the basics from nobody from Slauson as far as stages is concerned of what you got now.
I'm thinking Carver Park probably came first because for every park is a hood. You got Park Boys, you know what I'm saying? Grandy's was a set where a lot of people lived there on this one block called Grandy, a bunch of apartments on this one street, you know what I mean? But Carver Park has been a park since they built the park, just like Campanilla. Campanilla was a park, we had Park Boys. So I would say Carver Park probably came before the Grandy's, man. Because on the fact that there's Park Boys.
Mac, where they had Mac, where Tyrone had Mac up in the tree right there in front of the swimming pool. That tree's still there. Still there.
In the pen, all these motherfuckers that be having big names be soft as a motherfucker in the pen. You know what I'm saying? And I been recognized that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what blew me up. You know what I'm saying? Cause shit, motherfucker, I get into a motherfucker, okay, we doing this. And motherfucker, man, we can't talk. This motherfucker, what you mean? Nigga shit like that. You want to tell no, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta leave the yard.